and it was a fun night. I appreciate some of y'all that were there, and I know that we'll continue to do that bigger and better every year for our most outstanding students here in Smyrna. I want to remind everybody that next Monday, April 28th, in the large gym at the community center from 5:30 to 7:30 is a public input drop-in session for the expansion of the downtown at the Baptist Church site. Again, that's this coming Monday, the 28th, 5:30 to 7:30 in the large gym at the community center, and hope as many of you that can be there will be there to voice your preferences and get information. We had over the last several weeks, we've had a survey out there. Really, we want this space to be what y'all want it to be. It's 9 acres that is the Smyrna First Baptist Church, and I was told right before this meeting we had over 2,000 individual responses to that. So I'm thrilled that the public is engaging on this, that it's important to you all, and we look forward to hearing more from you so that we can get this right and do it the way that you want to do it. And then the last thing I had is tomorrow at lunch, I'm speaking to the Rotary Club, which has now turned into all Smyrna Civic Clubs, and from what I understand, anybody who wants to come. So I'm just going to be giving an update on city projects and answering questions, and I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow at noon. And with that, we'll move on to our proclamations and presentations. First, we have recognition of Campbell High School Key Club and 100 years of Key Club International. I know we have several of our Key Club here with the current president, and I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Hines for this recognition.
Thank you, Mayor. So on March 23rd, 2025, Key Club International celebrated 100 years of service, leadership, and positive contributions to our community. Key Club is an international student-led organization which provides its members with opportunities to provide service, build character, and develop leadership. Key Club is the oldest and largest service program for high school students. What makes Key Club so successful is the fact that it is a student-led organization that teaches leadership through serving others. Members of Kiwanis International family, Key Club members build themselves as they build their schools and communities. Councilmember Oglesby and I had an opportunity to be there and observe their celebration that they had at Campbell High School. By the way, Campbell High School, as we can all say, is a great high school. And thank you so much to Councilmember Lindley, who joined me in doing this presentation today. And I want to recognize a couple of people. Joe DeBose is the Kiwanis sponsor for the Key Club, and has participated in Key Club has participated in a variety of service opportunities, including food and clothing drives. They've helped facilitate school cleanups for our Keep Smyrna Beautiful and children's events. So he was one of the sponsors and brought this to our attention. And then we have Marina Flagel, who's here, who is, and I hope I said your name correctly, Marina, who is the president of Campbell High School's chapter of the Kiwanis Key Club, and is here. And I want to invite her to have an opportunity to come up and just say a little something, and then we'll have all of the students come up and we'll take a picture. So, Marina, if you'd like to come up. And during the presentation when we were there, we were able to see, I think it was the sister of one of the founding members of the Key Club there at Campbell High who came, and it was really special. Marina, thank you.
I would just love to say thank you so much for inviting us, and thank you so much for the recognition. Over the past several years, I have gotten to be a member and eventually an officer in the Campbell High School chapter of Key Club, and I have absolutely loved the welcome that I have received from the city of Smyrna, from the Campbell community, and from the Kiwanis community overall. I have absolutely loved being able to participate in events that help grow my community and help me grow as an individual. These events include things like helping out with the library and helping out with my school community by helping clean it up and help really grow our sense of belonging in our school and help grow our sense of belonging in this great, beautiful city. And I just want to say thank you again to everyone who has made me feel so welcome and so wonderful as part of the Smyrna community and part of the Kiwanis and the Key Club family. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marina, and thank you so much to the Key Club students. And so if you guys don't mind, if you'll come on up and we'll get some pictures with the mayor. Thank you.
While everybody's coming up, I was a past Key Club president and attended the 50th International Key Club Convention about 50 years ago. So, and I did learn to get a little bit of leadership quality from it, but it was certainly a good group back then.
I don't bite. Come on.
He bites a little, don't he? Sorry, I used to try to so I can't bite. Okay, I'll get close.
Get everybody in it.
You got us? Okay. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you got to get in here too.
Should we come out a little bit? No, we're good. Okay. Get close though.
You know, she's the professional photographer.
Okay. We'll just do 1, 2, 3, and let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so
Thanks,
very
y'all.
much.
Appreciate y'all being here.
You don't have to stay. If you want to stay for civics lesson, you're welcome to, or you can go home and do some homework if you have it.
Appreciate y'all being here again. Thank you. The next item under proclamations and presentations is proclamation and recognition of Coach James Gwynn and Coach Randy McClure, Campbell High School. And this is, it's okay to clap. Yeah, it's okay to clap. That's good. This is timely. There have been, as y'all have seen in the news or may have seen in the news, some difficult conversations and some difficult situations recently, none of which we're going to go into tonight because you control the things you can control. And what we control is the ability to say how much you've meant to this community over the last many, many years and all that you've meant to our youth. And I've got a proclamation that I want to read that states how we feel about y'all. If that's all right with you. It's a proclamation by the mayor of the city of Smyrna in recognition of coaches James Gwynn and Randy McClure. Whereas the city of Smyrna takes great pride in honoring Coach James Gwynn and Coach Randy McClure for their extraordinary impact over the past 3 decades at Campbell High School. 3 decades. And whereas coaches Gwynn and McClure have dedicated their careers to shaping young athletes and students, amassing a remarkable 1,200 career wins and multiple state tournament appearances combined. And whereas James Gwynn, a dedicated educator with 30 years at CHS in school administration and longtime head coach of the Spartans boys varsity basketball team, amassed an impressive 583 career wins, leading his teams to 8 quarterfinal appearances and a state semifinal berth. And whereas Randy McClure, in his 39th year as a devoted science teacher at CHS and esteemed head coach of the Campbell Lady Spartans, has guided his teams to 617 victories, securing 12 regional championships, 10-time region runner-up honors, 11 quarterfinal appearances, and 4 state semifinal berths. And whereas the legacy of coaches Gwynn and McClure was permanently honored in 2020 with the dedication of the 3,500-seat Gwynn McClure Gymnasium at Campbell High School, a lasting tribute to their leadership, success, and profound impact on generations of students. And I remember being there with y'all that day, and I was pleased to be there. And whereas coaches Gwynn and McClure not only built a championship caliber basketball program, but more importantly, shaped generations of student athletes into leaders, both on and off the court. Their influence reached far beyond the game, leaving a lasting mark in the classrooms, hallways, and hearts of our community. And whereas these 2 coaching legends have set a standard of excellence that will be remembered for years to come, and we are grateful for the dedication and passion they have poured into our students and our community. Now, therefore, I, Derek Norton, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, Georgia, do hereby recognize Coach James Gwynn and Coach Randy McClure for their remarkable achievements and lasting contributions to our community. I encourage all citizens to celebrate their legacy, honor their dedication to student-athletes, and express gratitude for the profound impact they have made on Campbell High School and beyond. I'd like to invite you up, and if you have anything you'd like to say, this would be the time to do it. Y'all come on up together. Y'all come on up together. Yeah, yeah. You got your family, some family and friends here.
Thank you, Mayor Norton, and for the entire council. I know I've had the pleasure of working with two of Mr. Gould's children over the years at Campbell in two different sports, and I enjoyed that tremendously. We really appreciate the support that we've had from Smyrna through this process, and then even doing this tonight. And I'm also congratulating Coach McClure, because I'm just getting started. I'm at 30 years, he's at 39 years, so he always reminds me of that. But we really appreciate just what we've been able to do in the city of Smyrna and in the community of Smyrna with the Smyrna residents. And stay tuned. Thanks.
I too would just like to say thank you to the mayor and the council. It's a privilege and an honor to serve at Campbell High School, and it is a calling for us. It's not a job. This is my 39th year. I've had my entire career at the same school. I actually started at FT Wills, and when we combined schools, I followed down on Atlanta Road, and so all 39 years, and I don't know, people don't do it like that. I don't know why, but when you find a good place, you shouldn't leave it. So I felt like I'm at the best school, so I've stayed there. I want to thank my wife and my family, my kids. Coach Gwynn's wife and our kids are here, and they have to tolerate what we go through. You guys know a lot about that. Your families get to experience some of the stuff that you have to deal with, whether they choose to or not. They don't sign up for it, but I want to thank them for that. And just been a great opportunity, and we hope that maybe that opportunity hadn't come to an end yet. We don't know. We'll know something soon. But it's just a privilege and an honor to represent. I always like hearing the mayor say, you know, Campbell's our school, and what's good about, one of the good things about our city and our community is our school. So that always makes you feel good. And then when we go out and do some things, and we've been able to have a lot of great kids, they make you look like you know a lot more than you do. When you have good players, they make you look good. And so we certainly had a great community because we've had a lot of great kids. So again, just thank you.
Humble till the end. I love it. I love it. Don't go anywhere. So it's customary. It's customary for me and maybe a council member to come down and get our photo taken with you. But in this case, I'd like all the council to come down and get our photo taken with you two gentlemen. It's not every day we get to have our picture taken with Liz.
You guys make us
You
look
want to
good.
hold?
We want more somebody else on this side.
We'll do just like that.
On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do one more. 1, 2, 3. And then they're going to take it.
Yeah,
It's going to be a record. You want to...
Coach Wynn's the rookie. He's only been there 30 years. Good stuff.
All right, y'all. One of y'all take this with you. Sir. Okay? We appreciate you a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Coaches, I just want to say your legacy and your impact, it's bigger than any position or title, and the grace that you show in adversity is a lesson that is something that is priceless to your students. So thank you as you continue to serve with dignity.
This is another one of those times Well, you can clap, yes, good. So one of those times, we're going to move on with our agenda, and you can stay, but you sure don't have to. So don't feel obligated. This is your chance. Appreciate you.
I have 2 grandkids. If I stay, you won't get much.
All right, we'll move on now to community development items. We have one this evening. Item A, this is Z25-005. This is a public hearing on zoning amendment Z25-005, allow changes to the currently approved site plan as well as an increase in building height, land lot 700, 1.95 acres, 3400 and 3420 Archerfield Way, Trayton Homes. And Mr. Bennett, can you read the background, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The subject property, 3400 through 3420 Archerfield Way, it's Archerfield subdivision, was rezoned from neighborhood shopping to RDA conditional in 2021, Z21-006, to allow a subdivision with 12 single-family detached homes. The site work for the development has been completed, and the applicant is requesting a zoning amendment to allow an increase in building height as well as reductions to driveway length and building setbacks to build the new homes. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Martin.
And before, I should have noted in my opening that Councilman Pickens is recusing himself from this item. I think there's a family relationship associated with this item. So, Rusty, go ahead.
Thank you. Rusty Martin, Community Development Director. This is zoning amendment case Z25-5. This rezoning, the original rezoning came to you about 4 years ago, 21. That was 2106 was that zoning case, and they rezoned the property from neighborhood shopping to RDA with some stipulations for 12 single-family homes. Tonight's case is to modify that plan and modify some of the zoning conditions within that rezoning. The 12 single-family homes will remain as proposed. They're seeking some amendments with respect to the building height and then some setback issues that were caused due to some right-of-way dedication. But as you see on your screen, the existing condition is 12 single-family lots. It's still remaining 12 single-family lots, and the zoning is remaining the same as RDA conditional. In that same vein, the future land use is not changing. It's remaining medium-density residential as was approved in 21, and the surrounding uses have not changed. Quick summary of the proposed uses or the requested changes. They're maintaining 12 single-family homes at a density of 5.9 units per acre. The property has been fully developed. The lots have been recorded with the county, so they're ready to construct new homes on them. There's no change in density proposed, and they're requesting 5 sort of variances or modifications to the zoning conditions. The first one being an increase in the building height from 35 feet to 38 feet, and that's for all the lots. Number 2 is to allow a reduction in the front setback from 20 feet down to 17 feet, and that's for lot 1. And then allow a reduction of the minimum front setback from 20 feet down to 19 feet for lot 2. And then number 4 is to allow a reduction in the minimum driveway length from 22 feet down to 20 for lots 1 through 3. And then finally, to allow a rear setback reduction from 10 feet down to 0 feet for all the lots. And I've got some site plans to sort of clarify that and what the rationale is for all those reductions. Here's the proposed site plan. This is similar to what you guys had approved back in 21. with respect to lot layout, orientation in the driveway, orientation through the site. You got 6 rear entry single-family homes. Lots 1 through 6 face Campbell Road. Lots 7 through 12 face the amenity area in the church to the south. As part of the development plan, there was one portion of the property that had our public sidewalk that's on Campbell Road within their property lines. So when we went through the replating process, they dedicated that small portion of right-of-way to the city to get that sidewalk and that easement area completely within the city. And that dedication has created some setback issues with respect to lots 1 and 2 due to the reduction in the lot line, which has pushed everything further south. These are the proposed setbacks as proposed by the applicant. As you can see, the front setback's been reduced to 17 feet for lot 1, 19 feet for lot 2, and then they're maintaining the original 20-foot setback for 3 through 12. The side setbacks interior to the development, they'll still maintain the 5-foot setback that was originally approved, so there'll be a building separation of 10 feet between each home. And then the rear setback has been reduced to 0, and that's to allow for a usable rear porch, covered rear deck on the back of the home over the driveway. And this is just highlighting where the setback issues are on 1 and 2, and then the driveway reduction lengths in lots 1 through 3. And then setback reduction for all the homes. And just one more time, a summary of all of them. Staff has reviewed all these requests, and all the plan reviewers from fire, engineering, building, planning, and zoning have reviewed these requests or these requested variances and are supportive of them. And just a little bit of an easier plan for you guys to see where that right-of-way reduction is. Just to give you an idea with respect to the requested variance, the applicant is proposing to supplement the buffer with respect to the buffer in between the entrance drive and the adjoining Argyle Estates residential homes that adjoin over there. They're proposing 3-inch caliber evergreen trees to supplement an existing buffer that has some pines and some hardwoods, as well as some planted maple trees along the interior road. And the plan on the left is the currently approved tree plan, which shows that each lot still has 2, possibly 3 trees to be planted on it between the roadside and the interior lots. And those will be installed as the homes are constructed. These are the building elevations. This is the Reynolds floor plan that they're proposing. So this floor plan has 4 possible elevations for that existing plan. So one has just a porch element on it. The other one has a porch element and some bay windows, and then the other 2 have a porch and then a 2nd-story balcony as part of that. And then there are options for some dormers and so forth, should they choose to put those in. And then the Glover floor plan also shows some of the changes with that as well. It's just a different layout on the interior with 4 elevation changes on that exterior. Give you guys some ideas of what the side elevations will look like and what they have with respect to the materials and windows. This is the site today. It is fully stabilized. They have constructed the amenity area already. So they're ready to go with respect to seeking their building permit for the homes. Community Development recommends approval of the proposed zoning amendments, and all the zoning conditions from rezoning case Z21-006 are being carried over. There's some changes in yellow that you'll see through there that we've added to those conditions to address the requested changes. First is they would like to use some hardy plank siding on the exterior for some of the elements. They'll have a mixture of brick and hardy. So we modified that request to make sure they have the opportunity to do that facing Campbell Road. The rest of the stipulations are all remaining the same. I think down all the way down to 37. These are all existing conditions. Obviously 35, we changed the plan that was associated with that for the site plan to highlight the new site plan with the requested setback variances. 36 is to amend the building elevations to reflect the new building elevations that were submitted. 37 is the requirement for the additional evergreen trees within the landscape buffer. 38 deals with the driveway length reduction for lots 1 and 3. 39 increases the building height to 38 feet. And then 40 requires that each home have a covered deck on the rear with brick support posts on the bottom. And then 41, the external side elevation for lot 6 shall be all brick. That's the lot that faces Campbell and Atlanta intersection. And then the external side elevations for lots 1, 7, and 12 shall have a minimum of 1 story of brick. 42, the HOA shall maintain the landscape buffer adjacent to Argyle Estates free from bamboo. The current developer has worked on remediating a bamboo issue within that area. They've chopped it all down. They're applying certain applications to kill it off, and the residents expressed that they'd like to see that continue and be maintained after the development is completed. So we added that, and they've agreed to that condition. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions for you.
Any questions of Rusty? Mr. Lindley.
Thank you, Rusty, and to Joey for working on this issue, working with the builder, and working with the community. Can you, just for the record, state why this didn't go to P&Z, how it came back to us, and then the charge before us tonight? In other words, we're not rezoning the thing. It's just a minor change.
Yes, sir. The city has a process for a zoning amendment for cases that have already been heard and approved by mayor and council. The zoning amendment process is to address small changes that may arise during the development process, like rock and other issues that come up that need to be addressed and changed. With respect to this development, there's no change in the orientation of the home. All the lot sizes are all the same. The road alignment is still the same as originally approved. The original intent of the zoning is in place. We're just talking about slight changes that mayor and council need to address and didn't need to go back for a full review by P&Z. Had the density changed and they changed the orientation of the homes and the road, then yes, we would have carried that back to mayor and council, or P&Z at that point. But with that being said, we also have been working with the adjoining property owners. We held 2 meetings with them to get their ideas and look at the proposals, and they expressed what they had concerns with and expressed what they wanted to see addressed, and we tried to work with the applicant to address those with respect to amending the stipulations.
And those meetings were specific to these changes?
Yes.
And this, if I remember right on your slide, this was first rezoned in
21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I would imagine there were some meetings.
Yep.
then, even though it was a little bit tougher.
Yes, there was meetings with
during
that as well.
timeframe.
And,
All
you
right. I
know,
just want to make sure the community was,
Yep.
was reached out to and engaged. Mr. Linden, anything else? Any other questions of Rusty?
No.
Thank you. I'd like to invite the applicant up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Kevin Moore here on behalf of Trayton Homes. I also have with me here tonight Mr. Cliff Poston, who's a principal and owner of Trayton Homes as well, who can also answer any questions if I cannot. I appreciate the time here tonight and wanted to take just a brief opportunity so I wouldn't forget towards the end of my remarks, but I really wanted to extend a heartfelt thanks and appreciation to Mr. Martin and Mr. Stobbs in how they handled this particular application. It is a minor proposal, a change from the original rezoning, but they had some true engagement with the community. I was able to see, because Mr. Martin provided me those copies of emails where he was responding, him and Mr. Stobbs were specifically responding to questions from the community, and they were very technical, detailed questions that were being asked, and they provided a level of response, not advocating a position, but simply providing facts in a detailed, responsive manner that provided information to the community that I think led to a much better understanding. I do this in a lot of jurisdictions, do not find very often where you have that level of responsiveness to community members from local staff. And I just wanted to say that because it caught me, and you should know about that if you don't already. This particular application, as Mr. Martin has expressed, does come to you as a request for a minor modification to the zoning that was originally approved by City Council in 2021. A little historical context, which I think is important, just not necessarily that it lends itself to the particular issues in front of you tonight, but just as kind of a recollection, this particular property, which is 2 acres at Campbell Road and Atlanta Road, this property was zoned neighborhood shopping and had been for years and years and years. Neighborhood shopping, commercial category that allows drive-through restaurants and so forth and so on that could have gone here all along. But that type of use was not supported by the residents and community that immediately are in this area of Campbell Road, who, as you all know, were very engaged in their community. One of the first applications that I was involved with was one for a large medical office building at this location. That never really came before you because the engagement with the community at that time, this is prior to 21, was not supported at all. And so that was ultimately withdrawn, and we gained a better understanding of what was the community looking for and their kind of hot button issues. Ultimately, the current owner, an applicant in the application that was approved in 21 came forward with an application for townhomes at this location. I think the initial application was 16 townhomes, a small townhome development. Community meetings were held, discussions and so forth, eventually leading to the approval that was in December of 21, which is the site plan that's before you tonight that's shown for reference purposes, where it was reduced to 12 single-family detached homes. It was important for the community that it not be townhomes at this location. They wanted detached homes in a smaller number, and 12 was the final number for that in a detached single-family arrangement. So that's the level of community engagement that had occurred up until the end of 21 when it was approved by you as City Council. And now coming forward, I know it's some 4 years later, the applicant in the application purchased the property, carried it through engineering design, and has developed it according to exactly what was approved by this council. Trayton Homes now comes to seeking and would love to build their homes on this property. Trayton has been here for over 50 years in Cobb County, the locally owned, building homes in Cobb County, building homes in the city of Smyrna and other cities here in Cobb, and has done a fabulous job, and they intend to do that same thing here at this location. This offers an opportunity. It's a small, really an enclave, but has great visibility on Atlanta Road at Campbell Road intersection. As you can see from the pictures, there's a great community gathering spot that's already now been developed and constructed at the intersection. But looking at this, and this is kind of one of those instances that you see when you have something that's conceptual in design, finally gets to detailed design and what needs to come of it, and there's some slight changes that need to be made from that evolution of the project. The Lots are the exact same orientation, the lots are the exact same size, the building footprints are the exact same size as what was originally approved. But in looking at this particular project and hearing what the community had always had to say about it, in terms of what they wanted to see actually built here and constructed, how they wanted it to look on a certain scale, certain quality, also with certain square footages. These building footprints that are here to do a two-story product, which was the original conceptual design for rear-loaded, there's just not enough room on the building footprint to do that. It doesn't allow you enough room. And the best example I can give you is understanding these are rear-loaded garages and units. So the first floor, half of that unit is going to be a two-car garage. So if it's a two-story, now you only have 1.5 stories to put square footage, and you want this to be nice. You want it to have a certain quality, and that's what had been discussed with the community all along. What Trayton is now proposing, you can see with the elevations that they are showing, yes, it's 3 stories, but that allows you to have square footages of 2,800 instead of square footages at barely making 1,800. It allows you to have all of the things that you would expect in a home that's going to be in a small enclave like this to be built. And that's what's driven some of the changes. That's driven one change, and that is a proposal to increase the maximum height from 35 feet, which it was approved, to 38 feet. So only a 3 foot increase in the height. Additionally, the design details, once the sidewalks and beauty strips were put in, like Mr. Martin stated, it altered where that property line actually is to ensure that those public improvements are in the public right-of-way. So for lots 1 and 2, those needed to be reduced just slightly, but it still keeps the same orientation. It just allows for that dedication to occur with a slight reduction in that setback. Same goes for the driveway length on those first 3 homes as you come in. Again, those had to be reduced just slightly because you've lost that couple of feet. Lastly, with the rear setback, I think is particularly interesting because it also highlights again the engagement that occurred between city staff, the community, and the applicant, Trayton Homes in this case. The rear setback looks at first glance, when you see something being requested to reduce it from a 10-foot rear setback to 0 feet, that seems, on a matter of degree, a little extreme. But in this instance, what that's accommodating is through those discussions, when you have rear loaded homes like this was being proposed, they can tend to have a flat look on the rear with the driveway that comes under. There was originally proposed to have decks, which would not impact that rear setback. But the engagement with the community and specifically with staff was those decks should really be covered decks or enclosed decks, one of the two, but create more of a structure, create more architectural interest even in the interior part of it, so it doesn't appear so flat. Once you do that, though, that's when the rear setback becomes impacted and you need to reduce it. But the simple explanation is it's simply being reduced so that you can accommodate what really is I think, an increased level of architectural interest on the rears and actually makes it look better from all sides, not just simply one side, without impacting externally the community whatsoever. In addition, Trayton has agreed per staff's recommendation in our discussions, and all of those came from those discussions, that the pillars that would support that would be brick pillars. So it, again, creates a better look throughout the community to match the architecture that you've seen at that location. Trayton has also agreed to supplement the buffer plantings. That was something the community had asked about too, of whether that could occur, and they happily have done that. Therefore, we're just bringing you this request, we think, so that the product that needs to be built there, the homes that need to be built there, these adjustments and revisions and requests would need to be made to the original zoning. They are minor, but they really just a matter of kind of some math to ensure that what was really discussed with the community all along is what is ultimately delivered to them in terms of the finished product, in terms of the finished homes and enclave that this will be. So again, I'm here. I can answer any questions you may have, and happy to do so, along with Mr. Cliff Post, and we appreciate your consideration here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, and I'll say just personally, I appreciate y'all's outreach to the community, both recently and when this was rezoned first time, and even when I was a council member in Ward 1 and we were talking about that medical building, and
That's right.
Goes back a long way, and tons and tons of engagement. So appreciate that. Is there any questions of the applicant from council?
Thank you.
Thank you. You must have covered it all.
Mr. Martin did for sure. Thank you all again.
This is a public hearing. Nobody signed up, but if anybody walked in late that would like to speak for or against this item, please come up and be sworn in by our city attorney now. All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and we will turn it over to Councilman Lindley, who is handling this issue this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and again, thanks to Rusty and Joey and the team for their effort, and thanks to Trayton Homes, Mr. Poston, Mr. Moore. I think the level of engagement with the neighbors is what, in my view, is prescribed with every project we consider. So thank you all for doing your part.
All right,
It
thank
makes
you for
it
being
easier
here.
when
I'm
it gets
Judge Phyllis Collins.
gets
This is
before
the
us.
arraignment calendar for Smyrna Municipal Court. I'm going to
I hit the
start
wrong
out by
thing.
giving you all some instructions.
Sounds
I'll
like
be
Judge
calling-
Collins
tried
just
to
made
look-
a
It was.
entrance into the council meeting. Okay.
I was just happy somebody else heard the voices.
Continue,
other than
Mr.
me.
Lindley.
Without further ado, motion do pass as presented.
Second.
Have a motion to pass, second by Ms. Hines. All those in favor, please vote.
Can we leave Mr. Pickens outside for the rest of the night?
And that's approved 6-0 with Councilmember Pickens recusing himself from this vote. Thank you all very much. One question I had that I didn't ask, and I'm just curious, what's the price point for these homes? What's that price point going to be for these homes? I'm not going to hold you to it, but
No, it's quite all right.
just curious.
Yes, so they'll, high sevens, low eights, and it probably with add-ons, so, that's what the
Very good.
proposed price range or contemplated price range would be. So they'll be really nice, and I think they'll look great. It'll be a beautiful neighborhood when it's done, I think. You'll be proud of it. They would love to
They're
start
ready
just
to
as
go.
soon as
They're
possible.
ready to go.
So,
Awesome.
just needed this one step, so thank you.
I see the next door neighbor, the pastor's here too. You maybe get some new members too, church. Good. Okay. We'll move on now. The formal business, we don't have any privileged license show cause hearings tonight. Formal business, we have 6 items. Item A, adopt authorizing resolution 2025-008, approving an intergovernmental economic development agreement with the Downtown Smyrna Development Authority, a preliminary official statement, and other instruments relative to the issuance of Series 2025 federally taxable revenue bonds for the purchase of approximately 12.72 acres at 3903, 3949, and 3967 South Cobb Drive, as well as demolition, site development, and issuance costs related thereto. And this is regarding the old Emory Adventist Hospital site on South Cobb Drive. Mr. Bennett, the background, please.
Thank you. So the Downtown Smyrna Development Authority is under contract with Emory University to purchase the former site of Emory Hospital, consisting of approximately 12.72 acres at 3903, 3949, and 3967 South Cobb Drive. The Downtown Development Authority has authorized the issuance of Series 2025 federally taxable revenue bonds in an amount not to exceed $11,750,000 for the purchase, as well as demolition, site development, and issuance costs related thereto. This resolution approves an intergovernmental economic development agreement between the city and the Downtown Smyrna Development Authority, a preliminary official statement, and other instruments as may be necessary relative to the bond. Finance and Economic Development staff recommend adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I'll just say about this site, the city was approached about by Emory about what we would prefer to be at this site. And part of the suggested uses or market uses for this site was, 500-600 plus apartments and, a coffee shop. And this council has just talked about what this community would want at that site, and we thought we could probably bring some other uses that are more recreational based or something that the community can really be proud of. So we're going to try to put that together for you all, and I look forward to future reports on progress. I'm excited about the opportunities for that space. Any questions or comments from council on this?
Just,
Mr. Gould.
One comment, Mr. Mayor. And yeah, to echo your comments, I'm very pleased that Emory came forward and engaged with us in a conversation about what we think the residents would want there. And look, this is a great project for the city as we explore some possibilities for that piece of property. But just one thing just to point out, right, in the description here, it says, it mentions demolition of the buildings, and that's not something that's going to happen you know, anytime soon. They'll be part of a bigger plan. So I don't want anybody thinking that's going to happen.
Including the physician groups and pharmacy that is currently leasing that space back from Emory before this deal is done. The intention of this council is for them to continue doing that until we have master planned that space. So no need for those folks. And I know that's your intent, but I don't want them to be nervous about having to move tomorrow.
But it's an exciting project.
It is. It is. Any other comments?
I agree. A tremendous opportunity on South Cobb Drive where the city and our citizens are looking for some rebirth and redevelopment, so awesome opportunity. Just as a point of clarification, the hospital has been closed, I know, since before I joined council, so that's been 5.5 years ago. And Mr. Cochran, there is a deed restriction that another hospital could not buy it unless Emory agreed to it. So I just wanted, for the public's sake, the hospital at that site is no more. So I think that is worth mentioning, that we're not buying it and closing a hospital that's been closed for nearly 6 years.
Been closed for a long time, and also I think it's worth noting that I've got full confidence that we're going to be able to put together an excellent use or mix of uses for that property to bring to the citizens. But if somehow the sky fell and we were unable to put a deal together, the market is still ready to proceed with other uses, whether it's multifamily or whatever. So the taxpayers, in my mind, are in good shape. If we're able to do this, which I think we're going to be able to, we're going to have a nice product for y'all. If not, you're still taken care of from a finance standpoint if we were to go back out and sell this to the market. So feel good about the deal, and if there's not any other comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor, for item 9A, Resolution 2025-008, as previously read.
Motion do pass, seconded by Mr. Oglesby. All those in favor, please vote. And that's approved unanimously. Thank you. We'll move now to item B, authorization to approve the contract based off RFQ 25-021 to Triple R Paving and Construction, LLC, in an amount not to exceed $1,422,468.54 to be paid from LMIG funds in 2022 SPLOST, resurfacing line item for the milling and overlay of city streets, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Mr. Bennett, the background, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This project is to mill and overlay approximately 22 city streets as part of our citywide annual resurfacing. Purchasing and Public Works recommend authorization.
Pretty straightforward. Any comments or questions?
Just a question, Mr. Bennett. I think we were told the other night this equates to about 10 miles of paving. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, entertain a motion. Motion do pass by Mr. Lindley, second by Ms. Hines. All those in favor, please vote. That's approved 7-0. Item C, authorization to amend the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA fund, adopted project length budgets to reallocate funding from adopted project budgets and create additional projects. Mr. Bennett, the background, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city has completed several projects and needs to reallocate funding to other ARPA projects. We also need to establish project length budgets for several obligations that did not have an established budget. Staff recommends authorization to amend American Rescue Plan Act.
And this is truing up our budget.
Yes, sir, it is.
Any questions or comments from council? All right, entertain a motion. Move to pass by Mr. Lindley, second by Mr. Welch. Everybody please vote. Ms. Hines, you want to vote? You don't have to attack it. That's approved 7-0. Item D, authorization to approve extended incremental work hours and Sunday work outside the already approved work hours for Couch Group on the Village Green bathroom and playground project. Mr. Bennett, which hours are they talking about here?
Yes, sir, it extends their work hours on Saturdays until 6 p.m., again on Sundays until 6 p.m., with no noisy or large work starting prior to 12 p.m. on Sundays.
And we discussed this in a work session on Thursday and pre-council before this meeting to clarify that work in any morning would be interior work that did not create noise. And I know this council is, if that were to occur, we would come back and amend this if should it pass. Any questions or comments from council? All right, entertain a motion. So moved to pass by Mr. Lindley, second by Mr. Pickens. Everybody please vote. And that's approved 7-0. Item E, approve an addendum to the amendment extending the term of the concession agreement with Gonna Fly Now LLC until January 31st, 2056, and authorize the mayor to execute all related documents. Mr. Bennett, the background, please.
Yes, sir. The city of Smyrna has a concession agreement with Gonna Fly Now LLC covering the operation of the Fox Creek Golf Course on Windy Hill Road. And Cobb County has a similar agreement with Gonna Fly Now LLC covering the operation of the abutting Legacy Golf Course. The city recently approved an amendment to the concession agreement, extended the term until January 31st, 2056. The National Park Service has requested that its standard concession agreement guidelines be incorporated into the concession agreement guidelines, and this addendum does that. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Any discussion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Motion to approve. Motion to approve by Mr. Welch, second by Mr. Lindley. Everyone, please vote. That's approved 7-0 with an exceptionally aggressive vote by Councilmember Hines. Item F, approval to renew the property liability insurance provider with Travelers Insurance with Oak Bridge and Seville as the brokers of record in the amount of $1,163,438.24, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Mr. Bennett, the background, please.
Yes, sir. The city maintains property and liability insurance with an annual coverage period of May 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026. Rates are based on a look back of past claims, losses, and liability exposure, taking into account the newly installed turf soccer fields. This policy includes risk management services provided by the brokers of record. City administrator recommends approval.
Any discussion? All right, entertain a motion. Motion to pass by Mr. Oglesby.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gould. All those in favor, please vote. That's more easily approved, 7-0. Next is the consent agenda. Mr. Bennett, can you please read the consent agenda for council approval?
Yes, sir. Item A, MIN 2025-074, approval of the April 3rd, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item B, MIN 2025-076, approval of the April 7th, 2025 pre-council meeting minutes. Item C, MIN 2025-078, approval of the April 7th, 2025 mayor and council meeting minutes. Item D, ATH 2025-064, authorization for the closure of West Spring Street in the lower portion of the Market Village to King Street on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, from 7 a.m. until 11:59 p.m. for the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation in Vineyard Wine Market, Jazz Under the Gazebo private event, council approval to serve beer and wine. Item E, ATH 2025-065, authorization for the approval for the 2025 Smyrna Market road closure as follows: King Street from Stevens Street to Bank Street, West Spring Street from the traffic circle to King Street, and Bank Street from King Street to Village Walk, on Sunday, May 4th, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved by Mr. Lindley, second by Mr. Pickens. Everyone, please vote. And that's approved 7-0. Now we're to the citizen participation portion of our meeting. I believe we have anybody, do we have anybody signed up? Got one. Matt Cone, 1439 Whitfield Street. Come on up.
If you don't mind, I'd love to pass something out to y'all.
Sure.
So I don't know who to give that.
Just hand it to Miss Heather and she'll.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for all that you do in your work, and thank you for having me here this evening. I enjoy coming to these meetings. It's part of how I view my role as a pastor here in the city of Smyrna is just to know what's going on in all arenas of the city, and the civics arena of it is one of the more important ones for sure. And so I wanted to come here tonight as well to celebrate something with all of you, and part of what I've just handed out there is a bit of who we are as a church. And then also something I'm super excited about, which is our brand, our new brand. And I'm not excited about the brand for the sake of the brand. I'm excited about what the brand actually represents. And so that's a little bit of what you have in front of you right now. But the thing that I wanted to celebrate was the fact that my wife and I and our 3-year-old daughter, we lived in Smyrna for 10 years up until 2020. And then we moved away. And we were gone for about 3.5 years. And then the denomination that I'm a pastor within gave me the green light to move anywhere, almost anywhere in the country, to start a new church. And we knew we had to rule out Atlanta first, and in particular Smyrna first, because of our history here. And the more we thought about it, the more we talked to people, and the more that we prayed, the more we realized that we couldn't, and we had to come back to Smyrna. And we believed that Smyrna doesn't just need one new church, but needs dozens of new churches, and we are excited to be one of those new churches that are here in the city because of all the growth that's happening and some of what that growth represents as well. And so we came back, and our lives when we lived here before were very disembodied. We worked downtown, we shopped up in Woodstock and Sandy Springs, and really what we did in Smyrna was we went to the grocery store and we went out to dinner, and we might have hung out with a friend or two. And then when we came back, we wanted to try to live a life that was hyper-local, a life that, and therefore create a community that lived, worked, played, and actually worshiped together too. And so we are the church that Robert Harrison he bought the Spring Street Baptist property, and so we're the church that he's allowed or brought into that particular property. And so we're very excited to be partnering with him in that regard, to also be so close to Smyrna Market Village. And speaking of Smyrna Market Village, you can see in our branding story here that when some of our members, we were going through our rebranding process itself, when some of our members did an aerial view of Smyrna just to try to get some inspiration for things, and they saw that the fountain from an aerial view loosely represented a cross, that's when they just said, we got to do something with this. So I agreed, we pushed into it, and then what they came up with ultimately, you'll see, it's got some rounded edges on the cross because that represents the warmth and the welcome of our church. And then you can also see there's white lines in between the cross that goes to the center of the cross. And each one of those white lines essentially represents the different paths that people in Smyrna take to get to the economic and community hub of the city. But then also for us, it's our heart and our hope that people would actually come to Jesus through these different paths as well, of course, just as a pastor. So I just wanted to let y'all know that we just launched public worship yesterday, Easter, and so we're open for business, I guess you could say, and we invite you to come and join us anytime you want. And then also just to say as well that our heart, again, like I said, is for people to live, work, play, and worship here in Smyrna. I know that's your heart as well. I've come here long enough. I've had coffees with enough of you to know that. And so you have a supporter in us and a supporter in our church too. So thank you for what you do.
Pastor, I was going to ask you, how long ago has it been that you reached out and we went and had breakfast? It's been
6 months, 9
been
months.
6, 9 months.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you for
Thank you.
your first service, and we're so happy to have you in the community.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Anybody else wish to speak this evening? Nope. All right. So we'll move on to ward and staff reports, and we'll start tonight with Mr. Ricky Oglesby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This weekend, our spring sports are starting to come to an end here locally for our youth. And once again, our Smyrna Smyrna Elite Spartans track team, which is also supported by Smyrna Parks and Rec, we have a lot of young talent that will be going to state and competing again, once again. So I wish them luck. Originally, that was at Morrow High School. Looks like it has changed to Lovejoy High School. So if you know any of those young athletes, a few are future Olympians, please give them a shout out and wish them luck. Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Oglesby, you just reminded me, and I have to mention it, and I mentioned it in pre-council. We had 2 state championship, well, 5 altogether, I guess, or 4. The 9-year-old girls basketball from Smyrna Basketball won the state championship, and we have 3 local gymnasts from the city of Smyrna, including my daughter, Samantha Norton, who are state champions for their divisions. And so you're right, we've got a whole bunch of talent in our in here in Smyrna and all across all sports, and super excited about that. Thanks for mentioning it. Mr. Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple quick things. We had the Campbell High School Education Foundation golf tournament today out of Fox Creek, and Pastor was there. It was a really great outing, and appreciate the mayor and council for supporting that, and to support great programs at the Campbell High School. Voting for District 2 Commissioner race is next Tuesday, April 29th, so please come on out and vote. Most all of us, I think, give or take, I think all live in District 2, so please make sure we get out and vote. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to remind everybody about the Jonquil Festival this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. There's over 150 arts and crafts booths, 12 food booths, entertainment stage, and a variety of children's activities. So I would invite everybody to come out and enjoy the festivities this Saturday and Sunday. And then there will also be, on May 3rd, the Smyrna Garden Tour, which will also be, it'll be before we have another meeting, but you can look online and get your tickets to do the garden tour. There's 5 homes that are in the tour, and then the tea room at the Taylor Bronner House. And they will also have plants for sale at both of those events. So come out and enjoy the festivities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilkinson. And also on May 3rd is the Jonquil Jog. So you can sign up at supportsmyrna.org, and there's information about it on the city social media as well. Mr. Welch.
I'll be very brief. I just want to welcome Waterstone Church, Pastor Matt, to the community. Thank you for being here.
Pastor, I think you won an item at the raffle today that I hope you'll call me and share. That'd be good. Mr. Lindley.
I want to know what he won.
Well, you can ask him after.
We're having a robust discussion about what weekend is next. So, as the mayor mentioned, the first public open house in person will be next Monday, the 28th, at the community center regarding the downtown redevelopment. Encourage everybody to come out to that. It'll be the first of many over the next many months. And proud to partner with my colleague from Ward 2 on the legal pop-up clinic, which will be May 3rd, which is in 2 weekends from now, at the First Methodist Church. With that, I yield.
Ms. Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you to my colleague. Yes, as a reminder, the pop-up legal clinic, which is being put on by Chief Judge Murphy at the Magistrate Court and in partnership with Clerk of State Court, Tanisha Phillips, will be Saturday, May 3rd, next weekend from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we have information on the Smyrna website and social media. There will be free legal services with regard to family law, small claims, landlord-tenant, bankruptcy, and probate, and various other. So please, they're asking people to arrive by 11:15 a.m. so that they can get themselves registered and come in. It's a great resource to have here in the city, so I'm happy about that. And I think We have the tour, I always mess this up. Is it the Tour of Gardens? Corky, which one is it? It's next, the garden tour. It's next Saturday too. It's not 2 Saturdays, it's next Saturday.
No. Mass confusion over the calendar.
Mr. Pickens.
She needs a bigger calendar, apparently. But I would just like to thank Travis Lindley for handling the rezoning in my recusal and meeting with the adjacent neighbors as well. So, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Bennett?
No report, sir.
Mr. Cochran? Ms. Heather?
I do have a very quick report regarding the advance voting for District 2 and 4 special general election. As Mayor Pro Tem Gould noted, the election will be on Tuesday, April 29th. However, there is advance voting that started today and will run through Friday at the main office in Marietta, at South Cobb Community Center in Mapleton, Old Clarkdale Park Community Center in Austell, and here at the Smyrna Community Center. And that again is this Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Ms. Heather, if there is no other business to be brought before this body, we'll say goodnight from the Jonquil City at 8:10. Thank you.